This is Easter Monday. We're looking at the scripture of the road to Emmaus, which oftentimes in communities that have a celebration on Easter evening, this is when you'd hear this story. It's a wonderful, rich story with so many lessons to teach us, so many metaphors that we can look through. First, the road to Emmaus. When we talk about roads in Christianity, we're often looking at the road to Damascus, Paul's experience that's bright and flashy and in your face. But the road to Emmaus gives us another version of a road traveled with Jesus, one that's gentle and calm and doesn't need kind of an in your face experience. It's often assumed that the road to Damascus experience is the only way to develop real faith or to have faith, something big and powerful happen in your life. But the road to Emmaus shows us that that's not necessarily true. Some of us actually can have faith and be lifelong Christians and not have that fall away or needed to have a big revelation to bring it back. So we have that road, that metaphor of the road in the story of Emmaus. And we have Jesus walking along, or actually a couple walking along just before Jesus joins them. We don't know who the second companion is, but since they go to the same house and they share the same table and nothing has actually been said otherwise, chances are we're talking about a husband and wife team here who are both at the upper room on Maundy Thursday when Jesus celebrated the Lord's Supper. So he's walking along asking them, what is so wrong with what's going on? Why are they so glum? And they kind of look at him weird and it's like, do you not understand what has happened? That Jesus has died? You know, the Messiah, the one that we were sure was going to lead to salvation and political freedom is gone. And Jesus keeps talking with them. And they say afterwards that the feeling, the richness, the fiery sense of their spirit was there. As he moves along, as they walk along, they talk back and forth. And Jesus talks about the promises that were made during his lifetime, even though they have no clue what's going on here. And one of the questions often asked at this point in time, and in fact most of the resurrection appearances, is why do they not recognize him? In Matthew they do. John and Luke, they don't. One of the things that we have to hold on to is actually it's spoken up in the book of Revelation, that after resurrection, we won't look the same to each other. We won't be the same to each other. And I mean, how could we be? Something incredible has happened. Of course we're going to be changed. We're not going to look or be or act or do the same thing that we are now. This assumption that we're just going to pick right back up where it was, probably not an accurate one. But, who knows what that's really going to look like? No one has been and back except Jesus. And Jesus becomes familiar to these folks with a word or a gesture or just being present, just responding to questions in a certain way. They recognize him. And that's the same that happened with Clopas and assumably Mary, the wife of Clopas, when they were on the road to Emmaus to go home. It was not until they had welcomed him into their home, that shared a meal, and that Jesus picked up the bread and broke it, that they finally recognized who was in their midst. And you have to remember, all the other resurrection appearances of Jesus happened after the message got through that resurrection had happened. These two hadn't had a clue. They'd left. They did not know what was going on back in Jerusalem. So it was a complete mystery to them, and they could not figure out what was going on, that Jesus was suddenly appearing with them. And as soon as they recognized him, he was gone. It was just the breaking of the bread, that moment of hope, of realization, and then nothing. He just left. They were so excited they rushed back. Now, it took them better part of a day to get there, so it took them well into the night to get back to Jerusalem and share with everybody what they had just experienced. And of course, everybody back in Jerusalem has now had a few experiences, and they're like, yeah, we know. But it doesn't make it any less incredible. See, the thing is that Jesus continues to appear. Now, we have wonderful stories and They all kind of talk about physical appearance. But through the resurrection stories, we know that you can hear Jesus in a word, or in a gesture, or in the breaking of bread, or in the response of questions. That's the part we hold on to. That's the part this Easter season, as we've now begun it, is going to explore with us. We're going to find moments where we see Jesus in the face of others, in the look of others, in the gestures of others, and they're going to see Jesus in ours. That is the beauty of resurrection. It's not a one and done. It's not only just about Jesus. It's a story of hope, and that death did not conquer anything, and that what everybody believed, the change that was going to come, it's still in the process of coming. It's not on the schedule that a lot of us would like, but it's coming, and that is hope. No matter how dark it seems right now, we're just in a blip. The general overarching message, it's still coming. It's still working. It's still unfolding. Resurrection is still a matter of everyday experiences.